Hi, my name is Lindsay Loomis, and I'm here to give you some information on how to buy a home. So, we're going to have a six-step process here. The first thing that you've got to do when you're going to buy a home is go ahead and try to get pre qualified. Um, I've attached a slideshow on how to find the best home loan for you. So, one of your first options is going to be an FHA loan, which is Federal Housing Administration. Um, they're attractive because they have great interest rates. You do have to put down a minimum of 3.5%, and you need to have a 600 or better credit score at the time of closing. Um, you will also have to pay mortgage insurance, which basically you pay a premium of like 1.75% until you paid 20% of your mortgage down. It's just kind of like a guarantee for the mortgage company. Another option is a bond or the OHFA loan. It's Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency, which this speech is only pertinent to residents of Oklahoma or people who want to buy a house in Oklahoma. You have a 0% down payment on that. You do have a higher credit score, which is a 640. You can also get a USDA loan, which is sought often because it is a 0% down. You also have to be in a rural area. I know I live in Owasso and work in Owasso, and you can qualify for USDA in Owasso and some other places. You also have to have a 640 credit score. There's also Section 184, which is designated for Alaskans or American Indians. You have to put down 2.25%, and you have to have a minimum credit score of a 620. There's a VA loan, which is actually how I bought my home, which it's guaranteed by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. If you served more than 3 years active duty, or you're a disabled veteran, or you deployed, you're guaranteed to get a VA loan. You don't have to put any money down with a VA loan. You have to have a minimum credit score of 600 at the time of closing. The great thing about a VA loan, the mortgage insurance that I was just talking about, the VA actually, it's rolled into your loan, so you don't actually have to pay PMI insurance, which is great. That's an awesome thing to not have to pay. You can also do a conventional loan, which is just like your typical standard loan, funded by like a private lending source. Typically, a long time ago, they wanted you to put 20% down on a home, but now conventional loans, you can do it with a 3% down. You do have to have a credit score of a 620. And your funding fee on that kind of depends on your credit. So step number 2 is to become pre-qualified. So in this step, this is when you're going to want to have your credit as good as you can possibly get it. You want to figure out exactly how much you are approved for to buy a house. And a lot of realtors will not even take you to look at houses until you have a pre-qualified pre-approval letter. So that's definitely the first step or second step after you decide what kind of funding you want to do. Step 3 would be to decide your home. Do you want to build your home? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to rent to own? Rent to own. Do you want to use a realtor? Do you want to buy for sale from owner? The options really are kind of endless. I work for a home building company. So in this, if you were going to build a home, this would be when you would decide which model that you wanted to build. Step 4, there is a behind-the-scenes aspect to buying a home. Your lenders, your realtors, your bankers, the person you're buying a home from, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of things going on. The realtors and the lenders, they all kind of talk behind the scenes. Step number 5 is going to be to stay consistent. You want to return phone calls. Don't make any moves without consulting your realtor or your lender. This also goes for things like if you're pre-approved to buy a home and you don't want to go max out your credit cards. You don't want to go buy a new car. You don't want to refinance things. You want to leave your credit as it stands, doing nothing but anything that you think will help build your credit. Paying down credit cards, saving extra money, not getting your nails done this month so you have an extra $45 in your bank account at time of closing. Changing your marital status can even affect you adversely, and if you are pre-approved under certain conditions, you need to be very careful to stay with those same conditions that you were approved with. I've seen loans get kicked right at the very end, and I mean, what could be more devastating than getting into your dream home and messing it up because you went and financed furniture for the new home? There's a lot of things that you can. There's a lot of things you can do, but you need to always be in contact with your lender and your realtor in these. Step number 6 is going to be your last step. That's finalizing your loose ends. Within the last 30 days of your closing, you should receive a clear to close letter from your lender. They're going to want to see final proof of funds, just knowing that you're going to have the money to close on the house. And again, this still kind of ties into you want to keep your credit squared away at this point. So we'll go back over. So 1, you got to find which funding option is best. Number 2, get pre-qualified. Number 3, pick your home. Number 4, we're gonna stay behind the scenes and know that there's a lot of things going on that you might not be seeing. The behind the scenes part, I want to touch a little bit more on that. I think that step might be hard. You kind of have to stay patient. So there's that. Number 5, stay consistent and in contact. And step 6, finalize loose ends. It's a great opportunity and time for buyers to buy houses. Interest rates are one of the lowest that they've been in many years, and with a 3 or 4% interest rate, people who otherwise might never have thought they were able to buy a home have the opportunity to get out there and buy the home of their dreams. I think that's always kind of been classified as the American dream, to own a home, and what better than to have your own home with your own personalized touches, or you buy a home that you make your own. So those are the 6 steps to buying or building a home.